Hello everyone, and welcome back to our WGEA Legislation Mini Series. My name's Louise Rogers. I'm a DEI advisor in the Work 180 team, and I'm so glad you've joined us today. In our last session, we talked a little bit more about the importance of employee voice and how listening to your people can be transformative in your target setting, taking it from guesswork to a real and informed strategy. We also explored how surveys and demographic data can reveal what's really happening across your organisation. But we know that numbers alone can only take you so far. They can show you what's changing, but they may not be able to show you why. And that's where so many organisations may hit a bit of a wall. They have data, but they're still missing the full story. If you stop at the numbers, you risk designing solutions that may not actually fix your core problem. When employees feel heard, we know that engagement rises, turnover drops, and innovation accelerates. What a wonderful thing. In other words, better listening isn't just good for compliance, it's also good for business. To truly understand your workplace, you need to hear the true and lived experiences of your people, their stories, their frustrations, and their ideas. And one of the most powerful ways to do that is through focus groups. Now, focus groups take you beyond the survey responses that you may already have to uncover the nuances, the unseen patterns and hotspots where progress can stall. And they can reveal what might actually be happening beneath the data, beneath that surface, helping you set targets that are specific, meaningful, and genuinely effective. Let's talk about taking a best practice approach and talk about how we can actually make focus groups successful. Because when done well, they can be transformative. However, when done poorly, they can feel performative or make people uncomfortable in speaking up. The key ingredient? Psychological safety. And in plain terms, people need to feel safe to speak honestly without fear of judgment. So what do we do to build that kind of space? So number one, I encourage you to use an impartial facilitator. Having a neutral facilitator, so someone outside reporting lines or even external to your organisation, can really make all of the difference. And when people know the facilitator's only agenda is to understand, not to assess, they open up. We've seen this firsthand. One organisation that we've worked with ran focus groups internally, but employees hesitated to speak. When they brought in a neutral third party, in this case, Work 180, participation and honesty both skyrocketed. Number two, get the logistics right. Sounds simple, but it's critical. Running a good focus group isn't just about booking a meeting room. It's about removing barriers that stop people from, even showing up or speaking freely. We worked with another endorsed employer who found scheduling a major challenge. Their teams were split across both day and night shifts. So instead of forcing every single, team member into one session, they adapted by hosting smaller, shift-friendly focus groups that were only held during paid hours. That small change sent a powerful signal. Your voice matters enough for us to make time for it. Here's what best practice looks like. Provide time during paid hours. It shows respect for employees' time and for their input. Create privacy. Choose spaces or online platforms where people won't be overheard or identified. And of course, be transparent. It's really critical to explain the why behind why you're holding these sessions, what will happen with the insights, and also how results will be shared, including if that will be anonymous. We also need to ensure accessibility, especially for frontline and operational workers. Think about shift patterns, access to devices, and also comfort levels. And finally, make sure your leaders are ready to respond. Listening builds trust, but only if people see that their feedback really leads to change. And even a small, visible action in closing the loop can build confidence that employee voice is heard and really makes a difference. So number three, exploring those themes beyond the data. Focus groups help you take the next step in understanding why the trends in your data exist. For example, say your DEI benchmarking assessment shows low retention of mid-career women. You dig deeper into engagement survey data and see low scores in areas like trust and communication with managers. The focus groups then reveal what's really happening. For example, despite having a mentoring program and self-serve development options, professional growth isn't being prioritized by managers. So women aren't being encouraged or supported necessarily to use these existing programs. And this leads to stalled career development and higher attrition. And that's the kind of critical insight you can only uncover when people feel safe enough to tell the truth about their experience and about what is really going on in their world. When you create this level of openness, you move beyond the surface level comments to understand the real day-to-day experience of your workforce. And that's incredibly powerful. Now, what can this mean for your WGEA targets? Let's talk about it a little more. So how does this all tie back to WGEA? By bringing together your data and dialogue, you're not guessing what your people need, you are asking them. You're turning feedback into action and compliance, ultimately into culture change. And remember, consultation doesn't just have to inform your targets, it can also be one of your targets. Setting ongoing employee consultation as a WGEA action target helps you embed these conversations into your regular diversity, equity, and inclusion rhythm, not as a one-off project, but as a continuous loop of listening, learning, and improving. And importantly, this isn't just about consulting women. Gender equality impacts everyone in the workplace, all genders. When it's done really well, these conversations can create workplaces that are more inclusive, fair, and engaging for everyone. Now, what next? Let's speak a little bit about what could happen after today. As you move into your target development and submission phase, I encourage you to look beyond the spreadsheets. The art of listening is your most powerful tool. Strive to facilitate safe and inclusive conversations. Make time for people's voices, especially those who don't usually get heard. Because when you do, your targets won't just meet WGEA requirements. They will reflect the true reality of your workplace and also the aspirations of your people. Ultimately, that's how we can build a strategy that doesn't just tick a box, but actually moves the dial in progressing gender equality and equity. In our next video, we're going to bring all of our concepts together and explore how we can communicate your holistic and informed approach to leadership and ultimately influence to create meaningful change. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in our next session.